Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here today, and thank you, Dr. Wright, for that kind introduction. I'd like to thank the university for this great honour. I'd particularly like to thank the members of the LGBT Staff Network for nominating me for this honour, with specific thanks to Aaron Pyle and Mark Adams. If you were to speak to my inspirational and fantastic mother, who's sat in the audience today, and my stepfather, who is also here today, they would tell you that I'm an extremely out and proud Salfordian. This has been a badge I've worn with me throughout my life, wherever I've been, and honouring my hometown means more than any ever could. I'm here to speak a little bit about the Lesbian and Gay Foundation today. I apologise if this gets a little bit heavy in parts, but I promise I'll finish on a high. This year, the Lesbian and Gay Foundation is saying enough is enough, and we're taking action against homophobia. Although laws have changed, many people's attitudes haven't. Homophobia still exists, mainly due to ignorance, but also due to pure, irrational hatred. Many LGBT people feel intimidated and under threat in many situations that may seem normal to heterosexual people, such as getting on a bus, going to school, or simply walking along the street. This leads many LGBT people to becoming withdrawn and having to cope with lifelong problems with anxiety and confidence. 1 in 5 lesbian and gay people have experienced a homophobic hate crime or incident in the last 3 years. 75% of those chose not to report that crime to the police. Some of those people have lost their lives. And I mentioned here Ian Bainham and Michael Causer as examples of that in the last couple of years. Despite major social shifts in the general opinion of sexuality, LGBT people are still being bruised, beaten or killed just because of who they choose to love. Left unchallenged, homophobia can spread. If professional minds see homophobia being ignored by parents or carers, they'll think it's acceptable and they'll carry on. Young people who still may be dealing with coming to terms with their sexuality are much more likely to be the victims of homophobic hate crime at school, college and university, at home or on the street. In a research study, 65% of young people said they experienced homophobic bullying within school, and national figures show that this form of bullying is up 30% since 1984. Job security and safety at work is just as important. Sadly, many LGBT people face discrimination in the workplace because of their sexuality. Sexuality may be seen as a barrier to promotion or recognition of achievement. Nobody's suggesting that LGBT people should be given special or preferential treatment. They should be treated fairly and equally as all of their colleagues. This is where organisations like my organisation come in. The Lesbian and Gay Foundation provide help through our group work, counselling services, health services, legal advice, and some of the campaigning we do both locally and nationally. The Lesbian and Gay Foundation has helped tens of thousands of people in the 10 years since it was created. It's a credit to all of its staff and volunteers who aren't here today to receive this award, and particularly its fantastic and inspirational Chief Executive, Paul Martin. Whenever I think of homophobia, I think of a story I heard some time ago and I've heard subsequently of a young man in Sheffield in the early 70s and early 80s who at the age of about 14 or 15 decided to come out to his family and neighbours. He decided this in spite of very difficult circumstances. He was going to walk out the door, tell the world, this is me, I'm gay, get used to it. Unfortunately, his coming out at the time wasn't embraced with love, but instead it was met by fists, violent attack and verbal abuse. This continued for the remainder of his teen years, but he still persisted and he kept his head held high. And he kept saying, this is me, I'm gay, you better get used to it. This young man's name was, and he's now a slightly older man, Darren Winter. I'm proud to say that today he's my husband, he's in the audience, and he's the person I'm most proud of and most inspired by. So thank you, Darren, for all of your support. This year, the Lesbian and Gay Foundation is saying enough is enough, and we're taking action against homophobia. I'm saying enough is enough. I'm hoping you'll join me. I would like to thank the university today and congratulate all of the graduates who are here. This is a great day for all of you, and you deserve the recognition that you get. Please remember, for those of you who aren't from Salford, who may move away from the area again, remember Salford, take it with you, and make us proud. Thank you very much.